Hello everyone, I am Rizza Centino. This morning I will discuss to you about the eukaryotic cells and their components called organelles. The first question is, what is eukaryotic cells? Eukaryotic cells are organisms whose cells are organized into complex structures by internal membrane and the cytoskeleton. The most characteristic membrane-bound structure in the nucleus. This feature gives them their name, also spelled eukaryote. Animals, plants, fungi, and protists are eukaryotes. Eukaryotes are organisms, including humans, whose cells have a well-defined membrane-bound nucleus or containing chromosomal DNA and organelles. Eukaryotic cells also contain membrane-bound organelles including a nucleus. Eukaryotic cells can be single-celled or multi-celled, such as you, me, plants, fungi, and insects. The number one biggest difference between the bacteria in your body and the cells making up your body are these tiny cellular components called organelles. You've actually learned a lot about organelles in other lessons without knowing it. Organelles are simply membrane-bound compartments within a cell, such as the nucleus, mitochondria, lysosome, Golgi body, ribosomes, cytoskeleton, cytoplasm, and the endoplasmic reticulum. So, nucleus, which is this part, it serves as the cell's command center, sending directions to the cell to grow, divide, or die. It also houses DNA or deoxyribonucleic acid, the cell's hereditary material. The nucleus is surrounded by a membrane cell, the nuclear envelope, which protects the DNA and separates the nucleus from the rest of the cell. Then the cytoplasm. Is a gel-like substance composed mainly of water that also contains enzymes, salts, cell components, and various organic molecules. Then the cytoskeleton. Composed of microtubules, microfilaments, and intermediate filaments, which play an important role in defining the cell's organization and shape. Then the ribosomes are attached to synthesize proteins which enter the interior space or lamina. Are cell structures responsible for protein production. Mitochondrion are organelles found in nearly all eukaryotes that provide energy to the cell by converting ingested sugars into ATP. And the lysosome. These organelles are the recycling center of the center. They digest foreign bacteria that invades the cell, rid the cell of toxic substances, and recycle worn-out cell components. Lysosome also contain digestive enzymes that break down the contents of the food vacuole. Endoplasmic reticulum. This organelle helps process molecules created by the cell. The endoplasmic reticulum also transports these indicals to their specific distinctions either inside or outside the cell. The Golgi body. The Golgi apparatus packages molecules processed by the endoplasmic reticulum to be transported out of. Prokaryotic cells is a unicellular organisms that lacks a membrane-bound nucleus, mitochondria, or any other membrane-bound organelles. The word prokaryote comes from the Greek kapyo. Prokaryotes are divided into two domains, the archaea and bacteria. Prokaryotes are asexual, reproducing without fusion of gametes. The first living organisms are thought to have been prokaryotic. The term prokaryote, however, is now informally to refer to bacteria and archaea, as the late 1970s Carl was determined that bacteria and archaea were less closely related than previously thought. In the prokaryotes, all the intracellular water-soluble components, or proteins, DNA, and metabolites are located together in the cytoplasm, enclosed by the cell membrane, rather than in separate cellular compartments. Prokaryotes are single-celled organisms that are the earliest and most primitive forms of life on Earth, as organized in the three domain systems. Prokaryotes include bacteria and archaeans. Some prokaryotes, such as cyanobacteria, are photosynthetic organisms and are capable of photosynthesis. Many prokaryotes are extremophiles and can live and thrive in various types of extreme environments, including hydrothermal vents, hot springs, swamps, wetlands, and the guts of human of animals. Prokaryotic bacteria can be found almost anywhere and are part of the human microbiota. They live in your skin, in your body, and on every body objects in your environment. Prokaryotic cells are not as complex as eukaryotic cells. They have no true nucleus as the DNA is not contained within a membrane or separated from the rest of the cell, but is called up in a region of the cytoplasm called the nucleus. Prokaryotic organisms have varying cell shapes. The most common bacteria shapes are spherical, ridge-shaped, and spiral. Using bacteria as our sample prokaryote, the following structures and organelles can be found in bacteria cells. So as you can see, we have the bacteria cells, the DNA, ribosome, cytoplasm, flagellum, cell membrane, cell wall, and a capsule. Capsule, which is found in some bacterial cells. This additional outer covering protects the cell when it is ingot full by other organisms, assists in retaining moisture, and helps the cell adhere to surfaces and nutrients. The cell wall is an outer covering that protects the bacterial cell and gives it shape. Then the cell membrane, or plasma membrane. It surrounds the cell cytoplasm and regulates the flow of substances in and out of the cell. Then the DNA is an irregularly shaped region within all or most of the genetic material. This length of the DNA chromosome is very large compared to the dimensions of the cell, and so must be compacted to fit. Then the ribosome, which is the cell structure responsible for protein production. Then the cytoplasm is a gel-like substance composed mainly of water that also contains enzymes, salts, cell components, and various organic molecules. Then the flagellum are helically shaped structures containing the protein flagellin. The base of the flagellum or the hook near the cell surface is attached to the basal body enclosed in the cell envelope. The flagellum rotates in a clockwise or counterclockwise direction, in a motion similar to that of a propeller.